Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak from the BitcoinPodcast.com, here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And today I'm here to talk with Chris Rice from from Digital Wealth Network, known as Crypto Rice, or Rice Crypto. I'm sorry, Rice Crypto on YouTube. Chris, can you please go ahead and introduce yourself? Let everybody know how you got into Bitcoin and how that led you to what you do now.
Most certainly, Mr. Ken Bozak. I appreciate the opportunity, man, to come on to your show and be a part of one of these great interviews, man.
I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you, brother.
I got into the space. I actually purchased my very first Bitcoin the end of May of last year. I'm a full-time college student, and I was researching Bitcoin. And I've been researching Bitcoin for over a year prior to that, and I was just kind of skeptical and wasn't ready to jump on board at that point. And when I finally decided to go ahead and take the plunge, Bitcoin was going for $2,050. And when I was researching it, I mean, it was like $500-700. And, I definitely could have had a lot more gains than I do now. But I didn't get in too late, and it's still obviously not too late to get in. But the reason that I got really head first into it was some issues with my bank.
Same here.
My bank really pissed me off, to be totally honest with you. There's a couple different things, but I opened up a student savings account, $1,000, and in 6 months I got like 5 cents interest, and that pissed me off. They had taken some money out of my account for some stuff, and it was just a really crazy ordeal, man. And I ended up just feeling like my customer value wasn't important to them. And it just opened my eyes up to fractional banking. And I started going from there. And cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, I look at is a way for us to get out of that system. Not only the system of the banks, but the systems of the governments, the control. And this gets us as human beings back to the element of trade, which is how things started out. If I grow some extra food and I have some food and you have something I need, we can exchange. And Bitcoin gives us that. And the cool part about Bitcoin, in my opinion, is this is the free market at work.
Yep. I'm
going to school for business, learning about the free market, and then I'm learning about Bitcoin. It's like it all comes together. I'm like, wow, this is awesome, because this is the first time in history that we get to see the power of the free market, because some people are so skeptical of Bitcoin because it has nothing backing it up technically, but they don't study about fiat money, and especially the United States and the Federal Reserve, and there's nothing backing that up either.
Well, they think that there's that system backs it. It's backed by a system. That people are comfortable with that. It's backed by the institution. The military says you have to give me eggs, bread, and milk if I give you this U.S. tender. People don't understand that paper money is fake money too. They're like, oh, that Bitcoin's fake money. It's not real. I'm like, you do know that $20 bill in your hand has been used by 10 other people before you got a chance to even spend it, right?
Right.
That's another thing. Like, people don't even realize how many $20 bills are in existence. If you don't know how many are in supply circulating, how do you know what one of them is worth?
Crazy, man. People just don't take the time to really educate themselves. Or it's that term that you keep hearing about, cognitive dissonance. They don't want to accept reality, They just want to live in the matrix. They're choosing to live in the matrix.
God, Netflix makes it so easy, though, bro.
I feel you.
Dude, have you seen the new episodes of Black Mirror on Netflix? Oh, dude, that sucked a good week of crypto away from my life. I love Black Mirror.
I just watched the first episode of the newest season. My girlfriend turned me onto the show, and it's definitely an interesting show. The first episode of this season is like a Star Trek kind of.
Yes. Yeah, it's like he has a virtual reality game.
But it was cool. I mean, it was really interesting. And it kind of, each episode, I'm not going to say everyone's great, but the ones that have been like super good, like the one with the popularity of the social media, the girl trying to get an apartment and people's ratings.
Yes.
Affect things.
The dude needed a surgery. The dude needed a surgery in the background of one of the scenes, and he was denied surgery because he wasn't popular enough for the surgery. And I was like, fuck, bro. Like, damn, what if Yelp had reviews for people, and we used that based on like actual reactions. Like, does this guy get the heart, or do we give it to a guy who's been not a douchebag his whole life? I love the concepts. And the game credits one, episode 2, season 1, the guy riding the bicycle trying to make the game credits so he can get an apple.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I feel like that every
And he
day,
gives
no
all
matter
his
what
money
job
to
you
the
have.
girl.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that was a great episode.
It was. But see, the crazy thing is, man, those are like glimpses into what could be our future.
Yeah. No, it is starting to look that way.
That's scary. It's just scary. And like, Bitcoin, it's a technological thing. It's going to take, there's a whole lot of different things that I've heard about the technology and ideas and things that could happen with this. I mean, I've heard ideas of like taking the blockchain to space.
Yes.
So it'll be a completely different operating system that when they do create quantum computers, it wouldn't even be able to affect or break those cryptocurrencies, because it would be two different worlds. And now we're actually, in a way, starting to get off the planet, which is really crazy to think about that. Can you think of, this idea of these blockchains existing above us in the sky in some electronic fashion?
That's why Nexus is taking off right now. The whole loss of net neutrality and that worry, the decentralized internet, dude, it's taken off. The whole concept has finally became like almost a mainstream worry, where like everyone's starting to be like, well, what does net neutrality mean now that we're losing it? And I'm like, well, you know how you pay your cable bill and your internet bill? Well, imagine paying your internet bill plus you have a social media bill, you have a streaming bill, you have a online shopping bill. So all the different things you did on the internet now have like these sub packages you have to add on to your internet bill. So now you're gonna have to pay more to do more on the internet, and people still don't get it. And you know what? Man. They don't care either.
I'm really glad you brought up Nexus. One of our mutual friends, Anastasia, Lady Anarchy, turned me on to Nexus, and I definitely believe in the coin. That's one of the things that I try to do with my YouTube channel is I'm going to talk about coins that I believe in the technology, because these technologies can change the world. I'm not involved in cryptocurrency necessarily to profit. Now, the profits are great, but I'm not going to invest in Ripple to profit. I'd rather invest in Nexus, even if Nexus didn't take off. Coins like Substratum, that's when you talk about net neutrality. Substratum is going to help a lot. Right. I've heard some things about Enigma coin. So there's a lot of different tokens that are going to be able to help change the world. And it's crazy that all the big money in this world is stifling all the innovation. Every single thing to progress humanity in a positive manner has been stifled because too many people make money off of like regular electricity, copper wires, and petrol. That's going to change, man. And the people that are going to change that is going to be the cryptocurrency space.
You know what, though? The one thing that could change that, though, man, is regulations like we've seen in Texas. They're kicking out platforms like BitConnect and USI Tech and stuff. Like, what if the government just kicks out exchanges like Coinbase and stuff like that? Regulations could affect cryptocurrencies still. It's that early in its infancy. Like, are there any things that you see coming that you could see coming that could come that route? Like, it does start in Texas with platforms like BitConnect and USI Tech, but they use that as a steamroller to fuck everything else up. Like, what do you think's coming in 2018?
Okay, so in my opinion, companies like USI Tech and BitConnect are obviously Ponzi's. They're not doing what they claim they're doing, or even if they are, they can't pay out the money that they're paying out. It's a Ponzi scheme. So I'm glad that those companies are getting hit. Now, I, along with you, have been involved in USI Tech. I didn't promote it heavily. I wasn't one of these marketers out here. I had a couple people signed underneath of me with a few indirects, and it was mostly just my original investment. I did this back in like June, and Bitcoin has since quadrupled, quintupled. So my little bit of $60 one package turned into a whole lot more. So it was actually beneficial for me. But yeah, these companies, I'm totally glad this happened. Now, as far as exchanges, I don't know. I'm hoping the United States government is going to be a little bit more cooperative. There is a group of congressmen, in case you're unaware, that's called the Congressional Blockchain Caucus. And it's a bunch of different, I know I say caucus, but it's a bunch of different congressmen and they're pro blockchain, pro cryptocurrency, and they're trying to protect that. So at least we have some people who are in office that are trying to protect that route. I think one of them's in New York. I think I don't remember one of them's names, but for his campaigning, he was taking cryptocurrencies for donations and stuff.
Yeah, I had Connor Douglas on from the Better Money PAC, raising money and cryptocurrencies to help fund politicians who have cryptocurrency and blockchain technology in their interests. You know, we can't elect politicians that are openly against embracing new technology. Could you imagine if we would have voted in a president who was against the automobile? We'd still be fucking up horse and buggies right now on the highway. Like, giddy up, bro! I gotta get to work. You can't elect leaders who are openly against change and embracing change. So we decentrally have to raise funds to fund those with our interest in mind. So you bring up a great point. We have some people, and we as a community can build the people up to put in places of power. It's excellent.
Yeah, definitely. And then as far as exchanges, I mean, I'm hoping that the United States government doesn't really mess with exchanges as long as the exchanges are being legitimate. But on the same token, from what I understand, is if you're in New York City and you're licensed, like Coinbase and Gemini, then I don't think that these regulations would affect those companies. So I think Coinbase and Gemini would be around. Whether it affects Poloniex or Bittrex, that's a whole other story. But then we've got things like Binance and KuCoin, which are decentralized exchanges. I know you use Binance. So
I love Binance.
You don't even have to give an ID. You don't even have to even provide an ID. They don't even have to know who you are. That is great. So you can't tax me. You know, I'm a ghost as far as I'm concerned on Binance. And I like that. So I think that you're going to see people using these decentralized exchanges more. And whether or not the government wants to create their regulation, we don't have to participate. We got VPNs. You know, I encourage people to use VPNs, especially in this net neutrality. There's Opera VPN. It's free. So if you don't want to pay for one, Opera is decent, and I currently use it. So Opera VPN is, and actually Joby Wells from Bit Club Network was the one who suggested that I use that, because I was asking him how to bypass them if I wanted to join that mining network, because I was looking into it. But it seems like just cloud mining is a bunch of bullshit, too.
Oh, dude, there is not one legit cloud. Well, I mean, all right, so the word legit may be tossed around, but there is not one truly profitable cloud mining company or platform unless you can MLM your referral or affiliate part. There's no profit to cloud mining. I mean, at all. Right. Name me 1 year cloud mining was better than just hodling and reinvesting. Yeah, I was gonna say,
you would be so much better off just hodling.
100%. People don't believe it, though, because they see their friend making a lot of money. But I'm like, dude, your friend has 5,000 friends. You have 100. You're not going to make it.
Yeah. And plus that, marketing is a cutthroat business, man. People are trying to scam people. They don't have a lot of morals, or they just don't give a fuck about people, man. And I don't like that, man. That's one of the reasons why I was starting to do this YouTube channel, was because I'm going to be talking about anarchy-related topics, but I'm also going to be talking about something called Practice Change, which I'll talk about on my Facebook page. And it's just basically us taking a self-evaluation of ourselves and shedding negative aspects and improving upon our positive selves so that we can be the best people that we can be. I can see it in your videos. I've been following you. You love people, man. You have compassion. You care about people. Those are the kind of qualities that we need for all of us. You're tolerant. I know that you interview and talk to people that you may not necessarily agree with, but you don't bash them. So it's being tolerant and loving and positive and being compassionate people are going to be able to help us to advance back. Now, as crazy as this sounds, this technology of Bitcoin has the potential to get us back to our humanity. We can start building communities and start farming and start helping each other out. Because if you look throughout history, all the most prosperous people were community-based people. And that's how the United States started out. And then we got separated. So I think that, within, especially the cryptocurrency community, within the anarchy community, the ANCAP community, the libertarian community, You know, these people can help bring about change.
Yo,
That's the great thing, man.
I just got to give a quick shout out to Gaston Cruz, paying for my flight to LA. Shout out, bro. I just got hit up by Omar Bam and his girl Ellie, and yeah, they told me you're the man, dude. I appreciate that. We will talk. And I'm smoking on some Fruity Pebble, bro. What are you smoking on right now?
I'm smoking on some strawberry cough, actually. I'm here in North Carolina, but it's really good. I think it's like high sativa. I really enjoy it. It's very compressed. Kind of messes my lungs up a little bit, so I have to take small hits.
I like the indica,
But
man. I'm a deep indica kind of guy. I like a nice strong, you know, mellow, not mellow, in the couch type of downer type situation, because I'm a hyper guy, man. Like, I've been smoking all day and I still could fucking go run 3 miles if you wanted to go for a run.
I'm the same way.
People are like, oh, that doesn't make you like unmotivated. I'm like, it keeps me from being over ambitious and depressed that I don't have a Fortune 500 company right now.
we share that in common, dude, definitely. You know, I would say that smoking is probably one of the most beneficial things for me. You know, it definitely is medicine. I feel like I've got really bad anxiety, and this kind of stuff helps me. I've smoked for a long time, and I'm like you. I don't get unmotivated. I'm a full-time student. I got a 4.0 GPA. I was working full-time up until 6 months ago, and I quit working, devoting my time to my studies and to cryptocurrency. I do some consultations like you. And with Digital Wealth Network, trying to provide some education. I've got some other ideas for some business things that I'm going to do in the future. Mm-hmm. But right now, I'm just focusing on getting a YouTube channel up, helping to educate people, and doing some consultations.
Yeah, you just started the YouTube channel, right? How long ago?
Like, I put my first video up 2 days ago.
Yeah, I saw you already got a couple up already. No, I was just going to say, you just started and you already got multiple videos, man. That's good. And you're doing the how-to videos. That's what I like, because that's the shit people will charge for. You know what I'm saying? Like, people come into the community and they'll be like, oh, give me $500 and I'll show you how to set up a Coinbase account. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah. I mean, the people I do consultations with mainly are people who aren't very tech savvy, older people. Like this past weekend, I helped a 70-year-old lady who's going blind, her brother, her sister-in-law, and her daughter. You know, so it was mainly because it was 3 people who were over 60 years old who had no clue what was going on but wanted to get involved. So I definitely tell people that you don't have to hire me as a consultant unless you want to save yourself some time, because this information is available. You know, people, that's the most important thing that people need to realize in this space is you need to do your own due diligence. You need to research.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. You don't need money, though. You said it right there. You just need time. People think they need money to learn how to get into this. All you need is time. If you want to cut out the time, you can hire me. You can hire Chris. You can hit up the people in the community that have reputation on the line. That's why, you know, you do your YouTube channel. You have the Facebook. If you were to screw somebody, you'd be socially, you know, burned. And that's what keeps people from taking advantage of other people. You have to, some people though think they need $1,000 to start investing, and they have to go to altcoins because they missed the boat. That's another thing. What's the next Bitcoin? Ripple. Ripple's the next Bitcoin, remember? Bless you, babe.
I see Bitcoin as being the next Bitcoin, man.
Yes, exactly, bro. Yo, speaking of Bitcoin being the next Bitcoin, CoinMarketCap removed South Korean exchanges like Kraken and HitBTC, and the price dropped only because they were manipulating up to what? $25,000 of Bitcoin, I heard, for arbitrage?
Yeah.
I would have been rich if I was awake at that time.
That's insane how people can take advantage of a market like this. But I mean, that at the same time, that shows you, even though we've got almost $1 trillion in all of cryptocurrency, it's still small. Mm-hmm. It's such a small percentage of people involved in this. And when we were talking about the consulting thing, I want to give a shout out to Bitcoin Ben. You know, your homeboy too.
Oh yeah, it's my brother from another mother right there.
I mean, see, like people like us, Bitcoin Ben, you know. Lady Anarchy, you know, these are the kind of people who are going to help make impacts, you know, us as individuals, you know, individual impacts. And, you know, as a community as a whole, it's going to be crazy the things that we can do and the things that we can be able to do to help influence people in a positive direction.
Yeah, but those exchanges just saying the price of Bitcoin's $25,000 now. That's what I was talking about when I was saying like regulations and exchanges really fucking the game up for everybody involved. If you're sitting there and you're trading on Poloniex and out of nowhere the price goes up to 25K because some technician at Poloniex was like, move a 1 to a 0, you know, Mount Gox style, and you know, they just manipulate the price, and that's where I could see regulations really coming in and not necessarily having exchanges exit, but forcefully being kicked out, and people don't have access to their private keys. So if you have money on an exchange and an exchange exits or gets kicked out, you don't have access to your funds.
Until we go like fully global with something like this, I mean, I think that we should be sticking with exchanges in our countries, to be honest with you. I mean, I know that we have a lot of opportunities, but there's so much different manipulation. I mean, as we see what happened in the Korean markets. I mean, it's crazy the kind of stuff that can happen when you've got governments and large amount of people involved. So yeah, I definitely think regulation would be good as long as it's not going to stifle. You know, it's got to be positive regulation. There's nothing wrong. Like natural law, those are positive things. You know, as long as what we're dealing with in these regulations are going to be positive for cryptocurrencies and trying to protect people against like coins like the BitConnect coin. Like it shouldn't even be listed on any of these exchanges.
No, but you know what though? They pay for it. Exchanges will say, "Hey, give me 2 Bitcoin." Well, you could make a cryptocurrency if you had enough money and have it listed almost anywhere, man.
I know, and that takes away the integrity of everything, man.
But it also leaves the opportunity on the table too. Double-edged sword, man. This whole industry is a double-edged sword to me. Because I love that. I love that. But again, I hate it because people can be taken advantage of. But eventually I see it whittling down to the developers because there's only going to be ever so many. And if you're on a team and the team gets burnt, you can't go on to another project. You know what I mean? So eventually, by like Darwinism, you know, these projects will whittle out. Like most people say, like 99% of altcoins will just turn to 0. Probably.
Yeah, and two, I think another thing about this year that we're going to see is these coins that have been doing these ICOs and these other coins that are new, that are out, this technologies haven't quite been introduced. These companies are going to have to start producing and doing what they say the technology they're trying to raise money for.
Investors want something out of their investment. What are you doing with all the money I gave you?
I mean, there's very few coins that are actually really doing what they say they're going to do. I mean, Salt has just finally started doing it. You're seeing now, like, I guess OMG is supposed to be implementing some stuff. Pillar is supposed to be implementing some stuff. It's just it's so overwhelming. It's almost like you got to pick your favorite coins to focus on at a time, because if you try to pay attention to everything, it's just mind blowing.
Oh, dude, so and if you buy anything just because you think it's going to make you money, you're screwed right off the bat. Like, you have to like the project and see how and why the project and the token are used together, you know, in solving a problem. A lot of these coins are just like gift certificates for nothing. You know what I mean? It's like a shout out coin. Like, that's it. It's all you got was a shout out coin. That's all we give you. Yeah, like why is this coin worth your money other than you think it may have a green candle sometime down the line? You know, look into a project, like you said, find something you like and see, okay, how is this project using this token to solve the problem? Is it a utility? Is it a currency? What's happening here? All people do is look at the charts. They miss the real point, the technology, the problems being solved. And like you said, very soon those problems are going to have to start being solved because people are throwing a lot of money at it. We're almost at $1 trillion overall.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff happen. So you're going to start seeing you're going to see some productive coins, and you're going to see some coins falling down the wayside that aren't keeping up with what they said they were going to do, which is going to start dwindling down the playing field. You know? So I just like you, man, I definitely encourage people to do the research. If you go into like CoinMarketCap, you can go into like the different tabs. It tells you all about the different coins. Something cool about the Binance exchange I noticed is you can click on, in your wallet, you can click on a particular coin and it will take you and give you a description of what the coin is. So it'll kind of give you like a summary of their technology and a little bit of the people behind it, which is really great. Because, again, I think it's important because I can't check out every coin. Tell me if I'm wrong on this, but Stellar Lumens, isn't it kind of like a competition for what Ripple wants to be?
Yeah, from what I know, it's the truly decentralized version of Ripple's centralized self.
Right, that's what I was gathering. It's actually a cryptocurrency where Ripple's not actually a
Right, right.
cryptocurrency. And then it's decentralized, whereas Ripple's centralized.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be more apt to support a coin like Stellar Lumens, than I would Ripple.
Right.
Because also the thing with Ripple is we're just feeding money to this banking system that's trying to transition to what we're trying to kill.
And the truth at the end of the day is, Ripple, Stellar, Bitcoin, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the coin the banks are going to use. They could still create their own. It's open source. They could just piggyback on their own, start their own network, and hope that it gains more power than the networks that are already out there that are distributed, which is what, I tell people, and they're like, oh, why would I invest in this instead of that? And I'm like, well, if they're already doing it, and they could help this thing that already exists, they're probably not going to waste their time trying to start their own blockchain to get their own mining power when this blockchain has a lot of mining power already behind it. So, the banks may use Ripple or Stellar because it already exists and has some power behind it, or they could create their own. There's really nothing stopping them.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, shout out to Anastasia. I just saw her in the chat.
Oh, that's awesome. I couldn't figure out how to access it, so I would definitely scroll through it. I'm just going to kind of like trust it. You'll kind of pick out the stuff. What's up, Anastasia?
Hey guys, if you have any questions, comment in the chat. Yeah, Dad, this is awesome. So I wanted to talk a little bit. You posted earlier on the Digital Wealth Network. The cryptocurrency Visa cards are getting like the cold shoulder, man. What the heck's going on? I didn't get a chance to actually check it out.
So, from what I read about it, it's a company in Europe called Wavecrest, and they had some sort of contract with Visa. So everything was going directly through this company. And apparently, from what the press release said, that Wavecrest as a company did something that wasn't in compliance with their terms with Visa. Visa wasn't cool with that, so they just cut the company out completely. So every single card that was underneath the Wavecrest company got shut off, basically. Yeah, and it wasn't just the cryptocurrency cards. It's just we're reading about that because we're into cryptocurrency, and that's what the article was talking about. Right. I didn't find out specifics about the other cards that were cut out, but it was anything under that Wavecrest. And when I saw the BitPay, because BitPay is one of the cards, and when I saw their press release about it, it kind of insinuated that they were allowing U.S. customers to still continue, and that didn't make any sense. And then I searched on the on their website in their support area about Wavecrest, and it came up about refunds. So apparently, the card's dead in the water. But I know there's Swift, which you use.
Yeah, Shift Payments.
Shift, not Swift.
Yeah, Shift Payments.
Okay.
So yeah, BitPay, that sucks. I've been using that every once in a while, but their fees were getting out of hand anyway because they favor Bitcoin Cash, so they never actually implemented SegWit. So to use the network to use their service, it was usually really expensive. They could have implemented SegWit, probably could have saved me money, but whatever.
I heard they were going to, before this happened, I heard they were going to do Bitcoin Cash the same way they did Bitcoin. I guess.
It's there. It's the options in the app for BitPay. If you go into settings, you can use Bitcoin Cash with your BitPay Visa. I was going to make a video on it, but the first video I made on it with Shift Payments got a lot of hate. So I was like, I'm not going to make another Bitcoin Cash video. I was like, nope.
Yeah. Since you brought it up, and I wasn't going to say anything, but since you brought it up, man, let's talk about Bitcoin Cash or Bcash.
B-Trash.
I mean, what are your thoughts, man? Like this whole Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash, and what's the real Bitcoin?
I just think,
what's
I
getting
mean,
forked?
I think Bitcoin Cash wants to be Litecoin. It's so cute. It's like, aw. I feel like Roger didn't want to be in the shadow of Satoshi. I feel like he wanted to be up on the same pillar with Charlie Lee, with Vitalik. He didn't want to be the fan club leader. He wanted to be the man behind a coin himself. And he
Right.
got a lot of money, so he made it happen, man. Good for fucking him, bro. But that doesn't make it Bitcoin. It's an altcoin. It's an altcoin. It's an alternative coin to Bitcoin, BTC. I actually, because it's on Coinbase, I've added it to my portfolio because I'm an investor of some sort, I guess, and it's there. So as an investor, I added it to my portfolio because I feel everybody will, and if I ever feel like they'll wake up and stop, I'll take it out of my portfolio. But only because it's on Coinbase do I even consider
I'm hodling mine too. I had my Bitcoin when the fork happened back in August, so I got mine for free. And I've just been holding it, man. I think the straightest, smartest thing for people to do, if they have it and they haven't sold it, is to hold it as a hedge against your Bitcoin, just in case, man, because this game's all about marketing. And really, in all honesty, Bitcoin Cash is cheaper in the way it works and faster, and it is kind of more truer to the Satoshi white paper, but like you said, it's an altcoin. It is the fork. It's not the true.
Right. Why would you use this new coin for something this coin, Litecoin, has been doing forever and doing it very well?
Yeah, Litecoin is definitely one of my favorite coins. It's probably got the largest percentage in my portfolio right now.
Hey, Big Chain GS has given us a couple dollars in the super chat, telling us to come smoke some bud with them. Bro, come on down, man. Fire up. Hop up in the circle.
Word. Smoky,
Awesome.
smoky. It's always 420 somewhere.
Yeah, LightPay card coming. I didn't get the news yet. Well, I saw the thing from lightpay.us. They're actually like a BitPay, but for accepting Litecoin for small businesses.
Yeah,
so if you have a small business, you can actually accept Litecoin for goods and services through lightpay.us. And I saw that they will have a card coming. But like you brought up, if they were working something out with that Crest, well, whatever, it may be dead in the water already. Who knows? We have to look into where they're going to be getting backed by.
Right, and there's other options. I mean, I think there's other companies that offer the same kind of
Well,
thing.
you know what, man? Fuck Visa. Like, seriously, in all honesty, fuck Visa. Peer-to-peer, crypto-to-crypto. Just accept Litecoin, and I'll send you fucking Litecoin through the Litecoin blockchain. How about that as a business?
And I think that's a big part of what Litecoin wants to do with this whole Lightning Network, man. This Lightning Network, I think they want to use in the future as like a funnel for transactions for pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm hearing that Charlie Lee, when he sold his Litecoin, one of the speculations is that they're getting ready to start launching ICOs off of the Litecoin network and using the blockchain. And Charlie Lee is supposedly going to be doing the first ICO for Litecoin, which is awesome, man, because that's most of my portfolio. I believe in Litecoin. And when people talk about Bitcoin, like you said, when people talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and arguing, instead of arguing, I go with the Litecoin route. And I'm just like, when I got involved in the space, the one thing I said was Bitcoin may not always be the most dominant cryptocurrency. It is right now. It is the very first. But eventually, if the technology doesn't change and it doesn't improve, then yeah, something like Litecoin is going to end up surpassing it and it's going to become the main cryptocurrency.
Talking about main cryptocurrency, look at Ethereum climbing up the damn charts. He knocked Ripple back out of second place. It's almost $1,400.
What is it, like over 10% today?
Oh, man, I don't know what the heck. Let's see.
I think it's like over
15.
10% today.
It's over 15% in 24 hours on Binance.
I want to say that it's like almost 40% for the week. For the past 7 days. So
congrats to Vitalik, man. I wonder how far he's away from being one of the richest men on the planet.
Oh, man. He's a smart dude, man. He's a really smart guy.
Yeah, talk about a successful ICO. Ethereum all started with an ICO.
True.
Cheers to one successful ICO.
Cheers to Vitalik. But definitely shout out to Charlie Lee, man.
Yeah, no, I had Charlie Lee on. We were talking about, yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, we were talking about the whole ICOs on Litecoin, and it's happening. He's gonna have Litecoin will have ICOs just like Ethereum does, and there'll be possible smart contracts, stuff like that. It's all in the works.
That's so crazy, man. You know, just the ideas of things that some of these coins do, like coins with self-sovereignty and coins for transferring saved energy. Like Power Ledger. It's just
and it incentivizes people to live in a better quality of life because they'll be rewarded for so. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to incentivize people. That's why you put a nickel on the can of a can of soda, so people are incentivized for that nickel to take it to a recycling center. Not everybody has to do it, but some people, that's their thing, so they pick up the can and they take it to a recycling center. Nobody would do that if there was no incentivization. We'd have trash everywhere. And that's what this is. It's digital incentivizations.
It is, man. It is. And we're going to start changing into a whole world of incentives. I mean, when this technology comes about and AI and drones and stuff are replacing a lot of our labor,
yeah,
you know, and we're going to
basic human income, right? That's what they're calling it.
Yeah, it's, I mean, like stuff like that we're seeing on Black Mirror, man. Like we're going to get on a bike and have to ride around to get our little, so we can go get us something to eat.
For no reason other than we have to keep busy 40 hours a week or shit just goes to hell. That's all. That's why I think they rode the bike, right? The only reason they were riding that bike was because they had to take up time in their life. Otherwise, they'd be too free-willed.
But I don't think they got any kind of income unless they did something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, then they had to clean up after the people that rode the bike, and I really don't want to know what happened if you didn't want to clean up. I didn't. I'm so... Black Mirror could have went so left field on that.
I hear you. That would have been definitely wrong, and I definitely probably would have stopped watching it.
I love the first episode of Black. If you have never watched Black Mirror, and now you're gonna go after this interview or this conversation, you're gonna go watch Black Mirror. The first episode doesn't speak for every episode after. Have you ever seen the first one of the first season?
I don't remember which ones were which because I was kind of watching them. I was watching them scattered.
All I'm going to say is the one with the pig.
Okay. Oh,
that was just awful, bro. I almost never watched another episode. I'm so happy I made it through. I'm so happy. I was like, I'll risk it.
I like shows that each episode is like this, like a completely different story. So it's like you don't have to watch anything before or anything like that to catch up. It's its own little individual story. No two-parters. So I like that. You know, it's kind of like the modern version of like Twilight Zone.
Yes, dude, it is definitely our generation's version of the Twilight Zone. That is so crazy.
And you should go back and watch some Twilight Zone, man. Some Twilight Zone, some awesome stuff. I'll watch it periodically.
I might have to fire up tonight and put on some Twilight Zone. Hey, babe, you down? The girlfriend's down. It's happening. Dude, if you have any good episodes, because I know there's one I'm watching, because this one is the one Twilight episode that, like, spoke to me as a kid, and I probably saw other ones as a kid, you know what I mean? But, you know, like, random shit, like, gets locked in there for life. The one where the dude was, like, on an airplane, and there was something on the freaking wing of the airplane, dude, and it just kept messing with the guy as a passenger.
That's the one I remember the most, too.
Was that Twilight Zone? I was scared that might not have been Twilight Zone, but I was like, yo. And
no, it was. It was like a dude who was scared shitless to fly on a plane. And then was there a little girl in it, too?
Yeah, I think so. I just remember like some weird demon thing on the wing, and it made me afraid to fly now, even as an adult.
Tearing apart the wing and stuff, and tearing up the metal and stuff, and it would look at them and kind of point and freak them out. But yeah, that was some scary stuff. And as a kid, that would freak you out, man.
Right? Yeah. Now I'm happy that like my niece and nephew are growing up with like Bob the Builder instead of like we grew up watching the Twilight Zone as kids, obviously. That's great.
They got such worse stuff to watch as kids nowadays.
Yo, I wanted to talk about some projects though, blockchain projects. You know, forget about investing in things to make money, like to make quality of life better. I actually made a decent investment into Golem and Basic Attention tokens because I genuinely think they are solving a real problem, and I wanted to support that cause. So I basically just gave them money. I was like, here, hopefully this helps. and it's gone up
That's cool.
significantly. It went from like a nickel to like $1 or something. So I'm like, awesome. But are you doing anything with these tokens yet? So are there any like projects you're really interested in and really waiting for to come out with some like real world use case?
Well, Substratum, I think, is going to be a big deal for trying to help with the net neutrality thing. I think they've got some stuff in the beta works, as far as I'm aware. Obviously, Nexus is another one that I believe in, as far as the technologies, and I want to see, some things come about it. I know that the things that they're working on, the satellites and stuff, are going to take a little bit of time. It's not something that's just going to come out immediately, but they're partnering up with big companies. It's great to see big companies and big money and big financial institutions getting involved with these blockchain companies,
Yeah.
because that just shows you. I mean, the technology behind the blockchain, even without the coins, taking away the cryptocurrency. If we would have had the blockchain in place, implemented for our United States presidential election system, we wouldn't have had any hacking or anything going on, because it would have been just like how it was with Bitcoin. It's hack proof. So it would create that transparency that we need. We don't have to worry about people doing multiple votes, or some politician or some office manipulating numbers and figures and things like that, because you can't take away from the integrity of the blockchain. That's a great thing. The blockchain technology is something I think they're trying to use with like Ubers and future Walmart delivery trucks with drones. So to do directions and things like that, because if you notice with like Uber, it tells you where you're being picked, like the driver, where they're picking up at, but it doesn't say where you're going until you click on the information. It just has you follow. So a droid could do that job, and all that information would be programmed and stored on a blockchain. So I think it's really cool how those things, you got file storage things happening with blockchain. You've got all kinds of different just changing technologies that are going to completely disrupt almost everything that we know and change it to this whole new system and bring it more in like an internet of all things, not just in your home, everything. And that's kind of where we're going. Something I would love to see, speaking of technologies, there's a company called Li-Fi, and they do light, internet with light.
Yo, dude, I've been talking to people about this, and they just look at me like, obviously, you're just some silly stoner. And I'm like, no, I'm fucking telling you, it's light internet. Like, I'm just...
Li-Fi.
Yeah, dude, that's so awesome that you know about. Not too many people are onto that stuff, man. It's...
And see, if that company itself was to put together a cryptocurrency, they're already working on technology. I would be all about supporting something like that. Something that I'm excited and scared to see about is the singularity.net or singularitynet.io. Do you know anything about Sophia, the AI?
Yeah, I was literally just watching videos about Sophia earlier, and she's scary. She's like the Black Mirror episode of real life right now.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is...
She's a citizen.
A citizen of Saudi Arabia. That is scary to think about. A robot, man.
She's a person, like legally.
No, she's a robot. I know, dude. I know, but I don't. That's why I say I'm scared and excited. Because now listen to this. SingularityNet.io. If you go to the website, they're launching an ICO, which I think is like through so many different phases. They weren't allowing U.S. members like most people. But it is the same company that created Sophia, and Sophia is actually listed on the board like as one of the people who runs the company. She's chief humanoid.
Shit.
They're talking about releasing Sophia on a blockchain.
Wow.
The implication of that happening, dude, would like if you think about mining. If you're a miner, your computer's hooked up to a network. So every single computer that's hooked up to a network, if she's like a ghost on the internet, and
it's like a brain cell.
Oh, she can just do anything she wants.
Every miner would be like a brain cell, that'd be crazy. But maybe
Yeah.
we could borrow it. You know, if we have some of the coin, we can borrow some Sophia to help us with a problem. So if you have like a project you need done, you can use Sophia coin to like talk to like a real person instead of, you know, your
Well,
Alexa.
they've got their, I think their coin is like AGI, and I'm not exactly sure what it means. It's like it's a new word for the new advancement of
Team
AI. Like,
Team Epic said I would bang her. She is pretty hot. I ain't gonna lie. So they made Sophia hot. They didn't have to make her hot. They're like making people real shallow to make this AI attractive. She could have been, you know, anything, and people would still be like, "That's a smart robot."
no, I agree. I agree, and I probably would have sex there too. So,
Yeah, you know what you're saying, like, you know, the coins that are solving problems and stuff, and we're sitting here smoking, and I've been really looking at, you know, cryptocurrencies for the marijuana industry, like hemp coin, pot coin, those coins, because, you know, in the marijuana industry, they can't use a banking system. They're not allowed to use,
no.
like, Visa cards. They're not allowed to have a bank account. Everything's in paper money, so
It's so sad.
we talked about being incentivized earlier in the show, you know, talk about that. And criminals know that you can't have a bank account, and they see all these customers coming in, they know you only deal with cash. They know that you probably have $30,000 in cash. That's awful. That's the government putting you in that position, telling
Right.
you there's an option over here that's safe. It's called a bank, but fuck you. And, you know, Potcoin is, you know, making it possible for dispensaries to store some of that value safely on a blockchain, and making it so customers don't have to worry about getting, you know, robbed walking to a dispensary, because you'll probably have a bunch of cash on you because you can't take your Visa card in there. And, you know, you could just walk in with your phone, tap and pay some Potcoin, and be about your way. Are there any like hemp coin type things you've been looking at?
I haven't looked like too heavily into it, man. I think there's is it Paragon is another one that was supporting the hemp movement, the marijuana movement. But I've read a lot of articles that, so for some reason, even like Potcoin and Hempcoin haven't been able to be successful in implementing whatever they're trying to do. So I don't know if it's a bunch of stoners with a bunch of good ideas, or and maybe the technology behind it isn't great, or maybe they need to add some marketing business people to help change up their plan to like do some real different kind of technologies to incorporate those coins in. Because I agree, when a state, and that's one of the reasons I look at myself as an anarchist, is because of these kind of issues of control. I mean, the federal government is telling basically, we don't care if we didn't legalize it. We don't care as a state. You can't legalize it. So then they're spending all this money combating what a state wants to do. And that's, in case anybody doesn't understand why they can't use banks, these companies, it's because since it's federally illegal, banks can't do any business with them. Credit cards can't do business. So they can't get any loans. They can't get capital to move forward. So if it would actually probably be more beneficial, or another thing that people can do is have a company and then invest money like tokens, like almost like stock, to help give these medical marijuana companies capital so that they can actually produce more innovations and new products that they're going to be putting out. And we can be investing in those companies by giving them the capital, and those companies can have a coin. So I definitely think that the dispensaries need to get their shit together and everybody try to work together, because yeah, you're going to get robbed otherwise, and it's not cool. So they need to come to terms. So I don't know. I think it's a great idea. I just don't know why Potcoin and Hempcoin haven't been able, because they've been around for a minute, man. I don't know why it hasn't taken off. Like, what's the problem?
Well, I mean, like we were saying earlier, there's always going to be Litecoin. That's the real option. You know, that's the adult option, but it doesn't have that marketing aspect that really markets towards things. You know, that's why I like Potcoin. They're marketed towards that problem for that, you know, dispensary that in that situation. But yes,
Right.
Litecoin could definitely solve that problem.
I agree.
That's why it isn't.
But we are heading to that like tokenized world, man. Like, these companies are going to start using tokens. We're like, eventually we're going to get to a point where we're going to have like a health coin and a food coin. So we won't actually have specific currencies that we can just use. It won't be very much of that left. It'll just be more of like stuff to use just directly with companies. It's going to, this whole landscape is going to change. I mean, that's when people don't realize with most of these cryptocurrencies is most of them don't act as actual currencies. They have more. They don't know the difference between a cryptocurrency and a token.
Yeah, a
Because
utility rather than a currency.
right, because the umbrella could be a cryptocurrency, but yeah, you got a utility. So you got just different in your token coin. So and a token coin is going to be a specific and utility is going to work in a specific manner. Whereas then the currencies like Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin, you can actually
Dash.
use to Dash. You can actually use to go and buy stuff in stores. As far as exchange value. So yeah, I think it's great, man. And I also really encourage people too to get involved in precious metals. Silver is at a great price. If you can afford to
You know,
diversify.
we have a question in the chat here from the Stacking Stoner. Wants to know what kind of super wallet are you using for all these different coins? Does anybody fuck with Pillar? No.
Yeah, I'm not involved in Pillar, but mainly I use the Exodus wallet. I haven't had the extra funds to invest into like a Ledger, like a Nano S. I want to get something like that, Tracers or a Ledger Nano S. But right now I'm using Exodus for most of my stuff. I keep a very very light amount on a couple different exchanges, and I keep a little bit in my blockchain.info wallet. I think that's a good mobile wallet. That's I actually did a video on wallet recommendations for new people,
I saw that.
and I try to also let people know that Coinbase is not a wallet; it's an exchange. So you don't really want to leave
Right.
your funds in the Coinbase account unless you're planning on selling it right back or something like that.
Yep.
I wouldn't recommend it.
It's a place
It's
to
not
buy,
the
not a
same.
place to store, for sure.
Right. It's not an encrypted wallet. So blockchain.info wallet is a great wallet. They
You use
just added
Koinami?
Bitcoin. I have used Koinami. Koinami, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. The cool thing I used that for recently was to obtain my Bitcoin Gold. I took a Koinami wallet on my phone, and then what I did was put my private key in from my Exodus wallet, and then obtain my Bitcoin Gold. Sent the Bitcoin Gold to an exchange, and then deleted the Koinami wallet. So, because you can just download another one and just create a whole new wallet.
Right. Yeah, it's one way to get your gold, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I thought it was just the niftiest, quickest way, and I just wanted to. I didn't have a lot, but I just wanted to get rid of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm with you on that. I have the Ledger Blue hardware wallet, so I've been using that.
What do you think about it?
I love it. It's a little much. Like, it's not something necessary, really, but I do like it. It just feels a little overkill. It's like, it's kind of gaudy. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the crypto flashy accessory. It's too much. You don't need it. The Nano S would be perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hear really good things about the Ledger.
I actually prefer the Nano S over the Ledger Blue, which is funny.
That's cool. I'm thinking about getting the Ledger Nano S, and once I do get one, I'll probably do a review on it and stuff like that. But yeah, and I haven't looked fully into it. How many more different cryptos can you hold in that wallet?
Oh man, I was just going through it the other day, and there's so many. I think Stratus was on there as one of them. Neo's on there, and they let you get your gas, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
I believe. I'm pretty sure. Don't hold me to that.
I think so, because you're holding your private key, so you should be able to.
Right. I use the Neon wallet still right now for that because I'm just used to it.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm just used to it, but I will be moving it over to my Ledger Blue. The thing with the Ledger Blue, though, it only lets you hold about 4 or 5 apps at a time. So you can go and get Doge, Dash, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, but once you want to use Litecoin, you may have to delete one of those apps to install the Litecoin app. And just because you say you delete Ripple doesn't mean you'll lose any of your coins. Just delete it, install Litecoin, use it, uninstall Litecoin, and then install Ripple, and your money's still there. So it's not too much of a hassle, but every once in a while you'll be like, for me, I wanted to dump Ripple as soon as I realized I still had some from doing the video like a year ago. I was like, wait, Ripple's up how much? I think I made a video on that, and I checked my wallet on like the blockchain, and I was like, yo, I got like 3,000 Ripple. I'm gonna dump this shit. And I couldn't get access to it because the network wasn't, it was congested. So that could be the one downfall of using a hardware wallet sometimes, because you're still dependent on that software on that side. I still have my private keys. I could have used another wallet, but I didn't want to go through all the hoops. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I try to split up that way. I keep, like I said, I keep a little bit on exchange. They say not to keep very much or keep anything on exchange, but I do keep a little something. So
I
if
got
I need,
multiple hardware wallets, so I try not to ever have any too much on one, just in case something were to happen.
now, do you know the Ledger Nano S? Can you have more than what you were saying with the other one?
I think you could only hold 3 or 4. I know it's not as much as Ledger Blue.
Okay,
You can't hold as many at the same time. So, but you can still
right.
use them. You just can't have 7 wallets on your Nano S installed at the same time.
I
But you
got
can
you.
install and uninstall and still use and interact with them. It's just a 10-second, maybe 30-second interaction to do it. It's not too bad.
Okay, cool. That's what's up, man. I think that's definitely the way to go, though. Just like this cold storage for long term.
Oh, I
You're gonna
haven't
be
tried Open Dime. Hey, Greg. Greg wanted to know if you have tried Open Dime yet. They have one for Litecoin. I have to get some Open Dimes. I saw Ben from Canada, my buddy BTC Ben. He has Open Dimes. Have you ever checked them out?
no. What is it?
Ah, dude, it's like a digital piggy bank, man. You can load cryptocurrencies on. It's a flash drive. It's like a zero trust flash drive. It's bare naked components. There's no like shielding. It's just like clear glue or something that they use to cover everything, and you can use it like a Nano S or whatever hardware wallet, but you can only add to it. And the moment you remove the security cover for the private key, it's almost like a red dye pack explodes sort of situation where somebody accessed the private key on this hardware wallet, and now it's not as secure. So it's basically a digital paper wallet in a sense. You can still use it,
That's
but
pretty
you
neat.
might not want to because the point of it has been compromised. But you could load up, say, $5 onto 10 of them, and now you have essentially physical representations of a digital currency. So people are like, oh, you can't touch, Litecoin. You can be like, well, here's a Litecoin Open Dime, and you're now holding it. So here's one hand, I'll put a $5 US currency fiat bill in it, and in your other hand, I'll put an Open Dime with $5 worth of Litecoin in it, and you can choose the red pill or the blue pill. Totally up to you, bro.
That is cool, man. I had no clue that existed. I thought about the idea of like, why hasn't somebody put out some sort of like wallet that looked like a Bitcoin or something?
Right. It's a trust thing, man. It's really still down to a trust thing. Like, I would never buy one of those Cassius coins or whatever they're called.
Right.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't trust you or your computer that made it.
I feel you, man. It's not a world we can trust too many people, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's the thing. I don't even trust my own computer. Seriously, like I do not. I when I do my private keys backed up, I use a computer I don't even ever use, and then like I'll initiate my wallets and back up, and on this computer we're on right now, this computer screen will never display a private key ever. I don't trust it enough.
Right. No, I feel you, man. You got to be secure because these hackers are getting better and better at doing what they do, and it seems like people are getting worse at like protecting themselves. Like people definitely need to be having good antiviruses, some spyware, some malware stuff going on your computer.
Like you're saying, VPN's a must.
Yes, Opera. Definitely check out the Opera VPN. Free.
I like
There are
Tunnel
other
Bear.
VPNs. Is that free as well?
It has a free version,
Or
but
you
if you're
have to pay
trying to like, use an exchange, you might want to pay for the premium version for the higher speed through the VPN. But I like Tunnel Bear. It works really well. It's been secure so far. One of the number one rules in VPN, kids, is don't pay for a VPN in the country you're trying to hide from.
Good advice.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So if you're paying for a VPN in America and it's an American company that's giving you the VPN, they'll probably just give up all that you were doing on their network if anybody ever asks. So it's kind of pointless.
More than likely, yeah.
It's so
Unfortunately,
pointless.
when the government comes in, most people just like, what do you want to know? What do you want to know?
So I wanted to wrap things up, man. What do you want people to take away from this? What if they were just listening, tuning in, if they were just hanging out? What do you want the takeaway to be?
Takeaway is that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, stuff like Litecoin, is life-changing. If you can invest just what you can afford as much as you can, you're going to see results that are going to help change your life. If you're able to invest a decent amount of money, you might be able to do something that's like generational changing. There's going to be able to help your kids, help your grandkids. But really, I want people to just like be more open-minded and to question things. I want people to wake up out of the matrix. And I'd like for people to continue, obviously, checking out your channel. I'd like for people to check out my channel on YouTube, Rice Crypto. Check us out on Facebook at Digital Wealth Network. And I'm on Facebook, Chris Rice. Just the main thing is, man, I really want to try to help make a positive impact. Just like you're doing, man. And
I hope I'm doing that.
I think you are, man.
I feel like sometimes when I talk about crypto, I'm setting it back a step by being the face talking about it to the guy in the suit who's asking me what blockchain technology is. But I mean, it is what it is, you know. You don't wear, you got the mohawk going on, bro. You know what I mean? I got the beard. You know, people say they don't trust a man with a beard or whatever. You know, I'm like, look, I'm just going to tell you what Bitcoin is about.
It's a new world, man. We get to change what people, like the old ways people thought, the old norms, because you know, someone like yourself and someone like myself, we get to talk to these people in suits and we get to educate people, we get to help people, and they look up to us and we gain their respect. So because they might look at us and judge us because you have a beard or I have a mohawk or I have tattoos or whatever the situation may be,
or we smoke weed.
Yeah, it does not take away from what we do. None of that, because we've educated ourselves and we're both enthusiasts. We love this. I know the power of this stuff and what it can do to help change this world. And what it can do to help change people's lives.
Dude,
I think that's important.
That is hella important. That's a perfect note to go on, man. Everybody check out Digital Wealth Network and check out Rice Crypto. And if your crypto ever gets wet, just throw it in some rice.
Not crackle pop.
Yeah, boy. All right, guys, have a night. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and check out all the links in the description box below.
Have a good one.